Going to break down a Remington Model 1148 in 28 gauge. This thing is a lot of fun to shoot. It's a semi-automatic 28 gauge, as I mentioned. So essentially there's no recoil on this. Very easy for anyone to pick up and shoot. The shot pattern on a 28 gauge, obviously going to be a lot smaller than a 12 gauge. Your shell's pretty thin, so you have to be pretty on top of your clay or whatever you're shooting at. And then the other drawback is just ammo is pretty hard to come by and expensive when you can find it. What I've been able to find most is this Fiocchi or this Winchester Super Shot, but they are pretty pricey, so don't fire it too often. All right, let's break it down. First, make sure it's clear. Nothing in there. First thing is release the forend by unscrewing this nut here. This is under spring retention, so it's best to hold on to the forend and barrel because this will all come forward once this is released. And that just slides off. And all three pieces come off. So you got your spring that goes on your mag tube, the forend, and your barrel. And so breaking it down this far is good enough if you just want to clean the barrel. But if you want to get into the bolt and the trigger, we're going to go a little bit deeper in. So there are two pins on here that hold everything in place. It's helpful to have some punches and a soft hammer that won't nick or cause any damage onto your gun. So let's get those out first. One pin is out. Second pin is out. Set that aside. Then you can take out your trigger mechanism. Get this bolt cut. You got the little catch on your bolt, and then that'll slide out the front. There's one other piece in here that goes along the side of this little piece extends out near the mag tube. So there it is, broken apart. To put it back together, we're going to go almost in the reverse order. I found the first thing to put in to make it the easiest is the bolt. So the bolt has these two metal pieces that go into a little spring mechanism that goes into the buttstock. The bolt has rails on the bottom, so you want to line it up with the slots in the front of your gun. And then you need to make sure that the two metal pieces that dangle off the bottom of the bolt go into this thing at the end of the buttstock. And to test that out, you can just push in the bolt. If it pushes back under some retention, then you've got it in place. Then you put this in. So push the bolt back a little bit, slide this in, and make sure that this front piece, there's a little nook that it goes in. And then you also want to make sure that it lines up with the pinhole at the back. Trigger mechanism in. Make sure it lines up with the two pinholes. Then you can release your bolt. And you can put this bolt catch on there. Make it easier in case you need to pull it back. Big pin in first. It just kind of pops in. And give it a couple taps. Make it flush. Then the second pin, the same thing. A couple taps to get it seated. A couple more taps to get it flush. And with one of those soft hammers, it's not going to cause any damage. Make sure it's flush on both sides. All right. And then quickly, just to make sure everything in here is seated correctly, pull back your bolt. If it locks back and releases, you're good to reassemble the rest. Bring on the mag tube. Put your barrel into your fore end. And it just slides all the way back. And it catches back here. Into the mag. Mag tube goes into the fore end, and then your barrel will just start to slide in. You have to push these down. I usually grab the barrel and pull it down. Alright, so get this threaded on. Start tightening it down. And then you can basically just, well, you can keep tightening it and it'll tighten into place. Bolt locks back and everything's in place. There it is, reassembled, the Remington Model 1148.